All right, what's up, everybody? It's Nick back here with another video, and this is 3 books that were very life-changing and transformative for me. These are 3 recommendations. Start off with the first one is going to be Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor E. Frankl. Now, just the way this has impacted me, I'm going to say, just reading about the experience of somebody who has survived a Nazi death camp it really makes me ask myself a lot of the time, what kind of excuse do I have when I'm going through some kind of rough patch, or at least I think it's that. Often when I compare what I'm going through to something like that, it really puts things into perspective and really just diffuses the situation entirely. I just remember before reading that book, I would get so caught up, so angry, the littlest things. But just the way he described it, his experience, oh my, it's just, man, puts things into perspective. I swear. I remember in school, this book was, it was for the advanced English class. People read. I never read this book, and I don't know why I never did. But until I did, it's just an incredible book. Really, it's incredible. Second one is going to be Power versus Force by David R. Hawkins. This is, I just looked at the author. I was like, I don't know. I do know the author. It's David Hawkins. Power versus Force. So the whole book revolves around this, which I don't know if you could see it from, the way the camera is, but it's a model that David Hawkins discovered called the map of consciousness. And essentially, it explains that different states of being have different energetic outputs. So, for example, just to use a metaphor, say one state of being, which is shame, which is one of the 17 levels in his list, has the power equivalent to a AAA battery. Those little tiny things. And then the state of being that's acceptance has the power output that's equivalent to a car battery or something like that. I'm just using examples here. But this book does a really good job explaining that the emotional state that we experience life through is able to, or rather, how do I say this? So the emotional states that we experience throughout our life, right? Because life is experienced through our emotions. Depending on which state you're in, there is more that you can do with less effort, essentially. And there are 17 levels in this model that he has. It's a pretty long book. Again, those 17, I'll put a picture up right there. But the first quarter of the book is a lot of scientific talk that just is really hard to read. I've recommended this to friends and they've read it. They're like, dude, I don't know what that said. But I swear, just after the first quarter of the book, the rest of the book is just, it is so beautiful to read. It's so well written. So third one is The Inside Track by Peter Sage. And it's funny because he actually mentions both of these books in his book. And essentially, so Peter Sage is a entrepreneur, he's a coach, and he was in a legal battle with Hewlett Packard because he was selling their computers, because he was buying them from wholesale price and then selling them at retail price, which I think that's what it was. But he was in that legal battle. He was actually sent to prison for contempt of court. This is the coolest thing, because what this guy ended up doing is he has a bunch of stories of situations where he has helped prisoners in Pentonville, which in the UK, that is I believe it's the biggest maximum security prison, which getting sent into a maximum security prison for contempt of court is just kind of weird. But I just love the way he looked at his experience. He said, man, he was at this point where he was grateful that he got sent to prison because he understood. He believed that there were people who needed his help, because he was a coach before. There were people who, he said, needed help more than anybody, but they weren't able to get it because they were in prison. And again, just a story of somebody who really makes me look at my own problems and just ask myself, what the hell is my excuse? So that's basically it. Those are the 3 books that I would say have had the most impact on me in my life. Go check them out. They're all really, really, really amazing books. I read all these cover to cover. Yeah, I read all these cover to cover. But yeah, go check them out. Add them to your reading list. Whatever. This is the end of the video, so see you in the next one. Take care.